Thank you for listening. This is the Jake and Josh podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And you are listening to episode 29 of the show.
Yes, if this is your first time listening, there are 28 other episodes, and I strongly encourage you not to listen to the first 15.
I would mostly echo that sentiment. You know, unless you really enjoy listening to a train wreck.
Did you say echo that sediment? Sediment impediment? Episode number 16? Okay.
Yeah, the episode you should start with.
Right.
We have upgraded again. What's weird is for this entire time, after we got the newer microphones, we held them with our hands
as if
to
we
our
were
mouth.
like sports broadcasters. I'd be like, back to you, Jake.
Yeah, and I dressed like Craig Sager would hold the microphone. But now we have microphone stands, so the mic's just hanging in our faces.
Well, microphone arms. They have elbows,
It's
shoulders.
it's a boom stand.
A boom stand, yeah. When I first thought about a microphone stand, I couldn't help but think of the lead singer Jonathan Davis from Korn, because he has his own microphone stand that he takes to all concerts and has a nude woman on it. And I was like,
she's hot.
I mean, she's not bad. Like,
I mean,
if I had like a nude
stand.
Lola Bunny on this mic stand, I'd be good with it.
You had me at nude Lola Bunny.
Yeah, and don't ever call her doll. Okay.
She was thick AF.
Ugh, man.
That's what she's probably what led to the boom of the furry generation.
Either her or Roxy from a Goofy movie.
Roxy, her, and then Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Those three started the furry movement.
Like, if you had to have a very specific foursome involving 3 cartoon characters from movies that span over like 25 years, I think we just did the trifecta.
Yeah, if I had to... Yeah,
I hit my microphone stand. Did you hear that?
This is weird. Yeah, we're not used to this yet.
Yeah.
Jinx. Now you can't talk the rest of the podcast. So I had a weird experience this week on... yeah, that's a great segue. So in my neighborhood, I only have AT&T U-verse available. That's it. No competition.
Throughout this story, can I pause you at certain times and interject?
Yeah. So
1, if having a monopoly is illegal in our economy, how can one cable company, and I'm not questioning you because it happened to me too, how can one company have a monopoly over a certain section?
Because capitalism. That's the reason. So anyway, my bill's been getting a little high, so I called up there like a week and a half ago, and I was like, "Hey, is there anything we can do to get my bill down? Like, if you want to add a bunch more channels, it'll drop your bill by $10." I'm like, "That's not really what I'm looking for." So we made the decision. I was going to put start new service in my girlfriend's name, and we made that order, and then I called up to cancel my account. And they said, "Well, why would you do it like that?" I was like, "Because you guys wouldn't give me a deal." And they're like, "Well, we can give you introductory pricing if you want to just do that." I'm like, "Great. Why couldn't you offer me that a week ago when I was asking about it?"
And one step further, if it's that fucking easy and you don't have to meet any requirements to get it, I'm like, "Oh, great." And then you can back it to all those bullshit bills you've been sending me because you have arbitrary prices.
Yeah. I don't I'm getting less channels but faster internet speed. But I'm getting more cable boxes, and it's going to be way less.
Yeah.
I get 4 boxes bundled in with HD and DVR for it's going to be about $50 less per month than what I was paying.
Dude, I'm not making this up. The first time I had to take charge of my own bills, I learned that lesson within the first year. And then every time I set something up, they'd be like, "Okay, we'll give you this great price for 6 months. It is just a 6-month program. And then after the 6 months, your bill will become this." And I'll just be like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then make a reminder in my calendar in 6 months.
Cancel in 6 months.
Yeah. I'd call and be like, "Well, we can just leave NFL Sunday Ticket," back when that fucking mattered.
Yeah.
And I'd
back
be like,
before Red Zone.
Yeah. Back before the fact that it comes free on 85 different things now.
Yeah. It's just strange to me how cable companies how arbitrary it is between bouncing back and forth between packages, and how frustrating it is as a consumer to call in and then be told that there's to fuck off basically, and then call back a week later. And
I think South Park did it best. Did you ever see the episode where the cable guys are just rubbing their nipples?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I expect, but if you're going to offer, be consistent. If you're going to dick me around, I mean, at least be consistent. Consistently dick me around. If you tell me one thing a week ago and then I call in a week later, tell me the same thing.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite things, too, from a technology standpoint, is if you ever call and be like, hey, this is broken or this is acting up, they're not like, like, I've always been taught in customer service, even if something does always happen, act like it's the first time. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, yeah, that probably did happen.
Oh, yeah, my Samsung Note 7 exploded. Oh, yeah, I haven't heard of that happening ever. Yeah, go ahead and we'll exchange that out for something else.
And, dude, there's been times I'll call a technology company. I'm not meaning just cable at this point. But I'll be like, hey, I'm having this issue. And I'm like, I haven't heard of that before. I'm like, well, if you go on Google.com and you look up the problem I just said, you will find forums of this problem.
Not even for this specific thing, just about that specific problem with this thing.
About your company.
Yeah. So we're about 6 minutes in.
Introduce the music, please.
No. I did the preamble this time. You have to introduce the music.
This is a song. It originally debuted in early 2016. It was written by Jake, and this is our song.
Yeah, here it is.
Coming at you live from Building 7 in New York, it's the only show that always has its dick out for Harambe, making America okay again. It's the Jake and Josh Podcast.
And we're back. That was weird having you introduce the music.
I know, I really don't like doing it. I don't like starting the episode, I don't like starting the music, and I don't like welcoming you back from the music.
Yeah, that was weird. You had to do 2 out of those 3 things this episode.
I just don't do highs and goodbyes very well. When I show up to work, people are like, hey, how's your day? And I'll like hand them a rough draft of my suicide note. And that's my salutation.
Yeah, but you never actually go through with it.
I have a lot of rough drafts. I'm on like my 19th revision this month.
You could have benefited from that one girl who kind of egged on her boyfriend to commit suicide.
Wait, when did that happen?
That happened. It was I think it was last year or 2014. She, her boyfriend, continually texted and complained saying that he was going to commit suicide, and his method was going to be by carbon monoxide poisoning.
Mm-hmm. I tried that in a 3-story garage, and it takes okay.
It probably took you forever to cardboard off all the openings.
I ran out of gas. Okay.
So anyway, so he's texting his girlfriend. She's like, no. You just need to do it. Just get it over with. You'll be so much happier.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Sure.
Do you know enough about the story to know if he was putting it in the context of, she was trying to leave him, and he's like, if you leave me, I'll kill myself?
No. He was genuinely depressed, and she was trying to convince him to just go ahead and go through with it instead of trying to get him help.
Okay, if it was a situation where he was like, if you leave me, I'll kill myself, I'm completely for her doing that.
Yeah.
But in the situation that you're describing, I'm only 99% for her doing that.
Yeah, so anyway, so he eventually, the day he decides to do it, she's like, no, you can do this, go, just do it. And he parks his car on the side of the road, it's like a truck, and he hooks it up to where it's feeding in to the window. And
he created a closed circuit.
Yes. And about halfway through, he gets out of the car because he doesn't want to go through with it. And he texts her saying, I couldn't do it. She's like, no, you need to get back in there and finish the job.
Be a man.
And so he does, and he died. And so now she's on trial for I don't know what the specific charges are, but she's essentially being held culpable for his death.
Or at the very least, vandalism of a vehicle. I don't know. Suicide's the one thing I'm completely insensitive about, and I know that's an unpopular thing.
Yeah.
I would have probably been like, dude, roll the windows up more, or just same thing.
Hit the gas.
If you're to the point you think that's the only solution.
The final solution?
Yeah. Oh God, do you have it? The final countdown?
No.
Even if you don't kill yourself, I feel like you'd be really annoying for a long time after that.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you didn't go through with it, that's one thing. But if you survived, I mean, at least you tried.
Yeah, that's always weird especially when the people shoot themselves in the face.
And miss?
Yeah. I'm like, whoa. You'd be great at Call of Duty, Halo.
Yeah, could you imagine being a guy who sucked at committing suicide?
Yeah, like you probably already got to that point thinking like you suck at everything, and then you couldn't fucking kill yourself either.
I don't know if this has already been done, but I would like to see a movie where the main character's clinically depressed and he keeps trying to kill himself, but people keep either intervening or he somehow survives through some weird intervention.
That would be the darkest comedy ever.
No, but I want to see it. Preferably, I'm imagining Rob Corddry as the main character who's trying to kill himself. And then his support group, best friend is
Who's
Jason.
Rob Corddry?
He was the bald-headed gentleman in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm for this.
Yes.
When you said it, I pictured Luke Wilson, but I only think because he tried to kill himself in the Royal Tenenbaums, and that's like forever ingrained in my head.
So yeah, Rob Corddry as the main character, and then Jason Bateman as like his brother.
Nice.
Because we need that groundedness. Who would be a good dad?
Luke Wilson. Okay, no.
I don't think he's old enough to be a dad. Ben Stiller as his uncle.
Wait, how about Red from that 70s show?
He's just in character as Red.
Sometimes someone plays a character so well, and you're like, that has to be how he is. Like, he read that script, and he's like, I don't have to act.
Woody Harrelson as the dad.
Okay, wait, can I side tangent?
We're casting this movie.
Yeah.
We need to write this movie. Copyright, we're like, this is copyright protected. This
Picture
is
a C in a circle. Okay.
TM, like R for restricted. Like this is all our original content. If you take this idea, we will sue you.
For all that you're worth. My wife and I saw The Edge of 17. Don't judge.
Did you?
Last
Dude,
week.
I want to see that movie. It looks hilarious.
Okay, Woody Harrelson's character, they need a spin-off movie for him, kind of like they did Wolverine.
I want to see just based off the previews, I want to see his teacher character in a movie with Stanley Tucci's dad character from Easy A.
I wouldn't hate that. Can I spoil like an aspect of the movie, I suppose?
Sure.
Okay. So the only thing I don't like about Woody Harrelson in that movie is so his character is very smarmy, which means he's a smartass. Very condescending.
That means he talks down to people.
But like the at a certain point, the lead female character, I already forgot her name and I don't know the actress, but her, she goes to his house. She's like trying to run away from her shit at home
and plays Careless Whisper outside of his window on a boombox.
That would have been quite the alternate ending. No, she's trying to escape something. But anyways, she gets to his house, and you would never think, based on this guy's character, that he's like married, has a kid, but he's married and he has a kid, and he's like a great husband, great father, and they try to build that dichotomy. But the problem is, they also made him kind of a shitty teacher in the movie. And I'm like, no, he should have been an angry asshole at work, but good at what he did, and a nice guy at home.
Okay.
But instead, when they made him seem like he sucked at his job, I felt like that denigrated who he was as a person.
Maybe what they were trying to say is that he hates his job but loves his family.
But you can hate your job and be good at it.
That's true.
Kind of like what's a good teacher?
Kind of like me at all my jobs before the one I'm at now.
Kind of like me at life.
So back to casting this movie. I'm still fantasy casting this movie. We need to come up with a title for it, and we could probably script this. But I'm thinking Sam Rockwell as the dude's like
I don't know,
psychiatrist.
Dude, you're doing too specific of actors and actresses. And
Sam Rockwell was the guy in Seven Psychopaths who was like BFF with Colin Farrell.
Sam Rockwell should be then the guy trying to kill himself. Like, I like the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine. I like him a lot, but he's like...
No, I feel like Corddry would pull off the comedy, like the physical comedy part of it, better than Sam Rockwell would.
Man, I don't know, because if you have a movie about suicide, it's... I don't know if physical
It's not going to be lighthearted.
Yeah, but I don't feel like physical comedy is the number one construct in that movie.
No, but I feel like he's gonna. I don't know. I feel like seeing Sam Rockwell slit his own wrists and survive.
Colin Farrell.
Yes. Okay. Colin
Okay,
Farrell. We'll do Colin Farrell, and then
If you haven't seen, I know you've seen it. Wait,
in Bruges.
Yes,
I fucking
in
love it.
Bruges, and it's spelled for those of you at home who refuse to Google things, like in Bruges. No,
It's on Netflix, I think.
yeah,
Still.
I said in Bruges for like the first year after I watched it.
In Bruges.
Even though in the movie they say Bruges 80 times.
Yeah, it's literally in Bruges, like Bruges, Belgium, the city.
Belgium is a
Belgium is a country in Europe.
I was like, Belgium is a city. What the fuck do I know?
No, Bruges is the city. But yeah, so let's just in Bruges 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I don't hate that. And it also had I forget his name, but oh no, the guy who we must not say his name in Bruges.
Oh yeah, Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, Voldemort.
He talked like this in all the fucking movie. The whole fucking movie he talked like this.
Seriously, it made me realize I love like a British accent cursing.
Yeah.
I mean, if Harry Potter was rated R,
You telling me he don't like fucking Bruges?
oh god, that was so good. Like your impression is, I give it a 8.8 out of 9. You
So
thought I was gonna say 10.
That'd be certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, like Doctor Strange.
Wow, you know the Rotten Tomato grading scale.
I know the cheese grading scale.
Can I tell you a story? And then
All about how your life got twisted upside down?
no.
Okay. I was going to take a minute and just
I'm
sit
gonna tell
right
you
here.
a story, and then a thing I thought about this week, and then I'm gonna tie them in together, and I hope you laugh. Okay.
3 hours later.
There should be a TLDR for our podcast, and it'll just be the picture.
That's what the description of the episode's supposed to be.
Whoa, that's on point. So when I first moved to the place I live now,
New York.
I lived in an apartment complex, and there was this redhead girl, and I can't remember. She was around my age, but I can't remember exactly, like younger or older or whatever. But she's like 15, 16. And the rumor went around that she could queef on command.
Oh, so we're going to be gross this episode.
Oh, is that what we're going to do? We're going to be gross? Okay, I'm still thinking about Red from that 70s show.
So what we're going to do.
We're going to fight. She could queef on command, and that's a rumor, and I was a very objective young man.
And you wanted to confirm that rumor.
I asked her if she could queef on command. She didn't bat an eye, which made me believe she wasn't lying when she said yes, she could make her... I imagine it would like... Okay, never mind.
It'd be more like a...
I imagine it would sound like if you hit two chalkboard erasers together like
no,
that.
I'm imagining like open a can of biscuits.
Dude, I just did that for the first time this week.
Yeah, scared the shit out of you.
We're really testing our pop filters today with the... Okay, that's tough.
It's okay.
So that happened. Then years later, actually last week.
Years later.
So I've always been aware that there are some women out there who could queef on command, and every time...
Including her.
That's the only one I know, so that's the face I always put on it. But then I was thinking, how ironic would it be if a girl got raped with a rape whistle? And then I thought about the redhead. I was like, she could blow the whistles.
I'll show you what you can do with that.
Oh man, I was stuck for like 5 minutes on the irony of being raped with a rape whistle, like it's against your will, but the thing you would use is in you, and then she would just real softly. And then
Train's coming.
I've never heard a rape whistle, which is good. Is it like a unique sound?
I always just pictured it as like a dog whistle where you can't actually.
Oh, good.
hear
I
it.
won't hear it.
It's just there for peace of mind.
A bunch of dogs will come running up and like, you guys are next. That's gross. That's weird to think about. But yeah, wouldn't it make sense for a rape whistle to have a very unique sound? And then step 2 is let us know what the sound is so we could help.
I feel like instead of a whistle, because I feel like a whistle would be confusing. It should say it'd be like a sound.
One of those slide things. I was like,
Hey! Hey!
that's not a sound. That's someone yelling, hey.
Yeah, but it's a sound. I can
Yeah.
make a clip of it and it would be a sound.
Dude, you know how likely I am to ignore someone yelling hey at me in public? Like if I walk in and hey! I just picture I'll turn and be like, hey, have you heard about Jesus Christ?
You'd look over there probably at least once.
No, I'd start running in whatever direction I was already facing.
It should be It should be a pre-recorded like scream or Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber doing the most annoying sound in the world. That should be what the rape whistle noise
Or it should
is.
be this noise. No, not that
It's
one.
not loud enough.
Yeah. And not long enough. That's what she said. In public,
It should just be her booing.
oh, that would hurt his self-esteem so
Yeah,
bad.
it would make him go limp and then he'd stop.
Well, actually, I think rapists get off on, I think they enjoy the aspect of it being against her will. So I always thought if I was a girl and I got raped, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, daddy, give it to me more or something like that. And then he'd be like, oh, man, she's into it. And he'd get soft and leave. And then I'd
That
have
reminds
to
me of
clean
my favorite Onion article title. It was a jurisprudence fetishist gets off on technicality.
How long do you think it takes the Onion to write one headline? Like, they're so funny. It's got to take hours.
Minutes even.
Man.
That was, yeah. Every time I read it, I crack up. And I read it at least once a day.
You know what's weird? Like, one of the worst things, and I'm not...
Being raped with a rape whistle probably has to be up there.
Unless you can queef. And then it's like...
Hey!
Okay, that's my fat Albert rape whistle. Sorry. God damn, what was even the question I posed? I can't remember.
I think you said something about that being ironic. And it would be ironic due to the definition.
Yeah, I think, okay, one of the worst parts, like, I hope nothing in this has made it seem like I'm pro-rape, because I'm not.
Yes,
but I would watch.
That's what his porn is.
It's a fetish that people are into. But anyways, one of the worst parts is, I read about it this week, is, like, women that get psychologically damaged because they enjoyed it. Like, physically, their body did
And then
not...
what happens? Do they go out to bars and are literally asking for it?
I don't know. But that's so weird. I couldn't imagine... I think, actually, Obama was the first one to change the law. It used to be, like, rape just, like, designated woman. And he was like, person.
Yeah.
Because boys can get raped, too.
And men can, as long as it's by another man.
I think a man could get raped by a woman.
I absolutely think that could be a case. You remember that? You remember Good Luck Chuck? Remember?
No.
Remember?
Member?
No, there's a scene where, like, do you remember the movie, though, with Dane Cook?
No, I've blacked out every movie with Dane Cook except Dan in real life.
So the premise of the movie is that he, like, essentially finds out that everyone that has sex
there's
with
penguins.
him... Yes.
I remember penguins in the movie.
And
okay.
Jessica Alba.
And there were like 8 of them. Was his name Mr. Potter?
I don't remember.
Or Mr. Popper?
No, you're thinking of Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Okay, Mr. Toppers.
Good luck, Mr. Popper's Penguins. Jessica Alba's in the movie. Dane Cook's in the movie. There's but he essentially finds out that he was cursed by a girl when he was like 12. And he essentially, any woman that has sex with him will immediately find her soulmate afterwards. And so he goes on this long, like, binge where he's seeing, like, he goes out with multiple women in a row.
Did women find this out?
Yes, they found it out.
Okay, because that'd be the ultimate game for him to play.
They sought him out.
Yep.
Well, there's this one scene where it's a very, very large woman. Think Mama June.
From Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So picture that. And she's like munching on some, like, chicken wings or something and looking at him. And she says, "I'm going to fuck you till you die."
That would be a
rape.
female rapist. Yeah. That'd be rape and murder.
I would absolutely consider that female rape.
I don't know.
Because he would not be willing.
Yeah.
It's going to get to the point where, as men, we should probably document consent before doing the deed if it's a girl you've not been with before.
Man, then she'll come up with some bullshit excuse how she didn't give her consent to have to sign it or something. I don't know.
I didn't give my consent to give consent.
He had me sign it while I was drunk.
Yeah. The defense to that should be, well, he was drunk too.
That's not terrible, yeah. That's an interesting point, because if both people are inebriated...
Yeah, if neither person can consent, then the rape should cancel out.
It's almost like in football when there's holding and
like,
pass
no.
interference. Okay.
It's like in fractions where the two terms cancel out.
Like, what do you mean? Like 4/2 and 2/4 equals 1?
Yes.
Nice. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
And it's weird too because there's rape porn out there.
Yeah, there is. And
Like,
it's probably one of the porns that's going to be banned in the UK here soon.
the UK is banning porn?
Not all porn, but certain types of porn, like obscene porn.
Do they want the rest of their people to leave?
It'll be a real Brexit.
Oh, jeez.
It'll be a Brexit for breakfast. One of the things that they're implementing is a 4-finger rule, which limits the amount of digits inserted into a single orifice at one time. So no fisting in the UK.
Unless you're missing a finger, then you can still fist.
So Jason Pierre-Paul could still do fisting porn.
Dude, he could fist and put one finger from his other hand in. That's so weird to think about.
2 in the pink and 1 nasty stub in the stink.
2 in the pink, and that's all he has, I think. I just made a JPP shocker rhyme. That was impressive. I hope he listens to this episode.
2 in the pink and, oh, wait, I didn't know I was having sex with the penguin.
Oh, man.
Is that a flipper? But yeah, so so in addition to fisting, there's also there's not any longer going to be any female ejaculation videos, which I'm fine with.
Like
it's
squirting?
Because it's essentially pee.
Yeah.
It's all pee.
Dude, I've heard a lot of guys that believe that. Okay, so women can squirt, and I don't know
It's pee.
genetically what's different, but some women just pee and then call it squirt, so it's at
pee.
least it's always pee.
It's all pee. It comes from the same spot. It's pee.
Well, if it's sterile, I don't feel as bad.
It's from the B spot, the bladder.
Wow. The one thing that makes me nervous though is
Is transgendered in your bathroom?
No, can we? Okay, we'll go back to the Britain thing, but can I talk about transgenders in porn?
Okay.
So I just found out one of my favorite porn stars was a boy and is now a girl.
Who?
I'm not gonna name the name, but it's Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon?
Or wait, Dylan
Harper.
Dylan Harper used to be a boy, and
Really?
yeah, and it makes me uncomfortable because of how much seed I've spilt to him and her. And I'm accepting of all cultures publicly. And the issue becomes now, anytime I watch like a porn, I've already Googled and verified the natural gender of all my favorite porn stars. So if I come across one, I'm like, ooh, this thumbnail looks cool, and then it's a name I don't recognize, I have to like then go back to my non-incognito and Google it.
So it's weird though, because you were fine with it before you knew about it,
As I would be in person, like.
But I mean, like, if you hadn't known that information, you wouldn't have cared.
That's with anything. If germaphobes didn't know about bacteria, you think they'd be weird?
But it's just weird that now, like, you couldn't tell before, and you still can't tell. But
now I can tell. I see the dick coming out of like every square inch of her body just has a dick waving now.
See, I never would have guessed, and I still don't care.
She looks like a Tangela. That's a Pokemon. All right.
Just a Tangela with dicks.
Or did I ever show you the Unagi?
That's the episode name, Tangela with dicks.
I don't hate that. That's it gives our episode title a good dichotomy. Did I ever show you the episode of? I already fucking can't remember what the show is called. Man Seeking Woman, or
yes,
with the Dick Monster.
Yes,
yeah. So that's the other. So that's also why I picture. Wait, what's her name?
Dylan Harper.
Dylan Harper.
I feel like you're making this up,
dude. I have found enough stuff online to believe that at one point she had a phallic member.
Because so many people said that about Lady Gaga too. It's not true.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
What about the wife from True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis? Was she a transvestite or hermaphrodite when she was born?
I don't think so.
Because I've heard that rumor before.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And like the third time I ever got off was to her in Trading Places.
Yeah.
Damn, how'd you know?
Because
that was the third time you ever got off.
Yeah, because she got topless in that movie.
She sure did.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
That's one of my favorite Dan Aykroyd movies. I put it above Ghostbusters.
As far
Is
as Dan Aykroyd movies?
Yeah.
I can see that.
And those are the only two because I don't think he was in other things.
Well, he was in. He played Zelensky in Tommy Boy.
Oh, you're correct.
And he was in Blues Brothers.
Never saw it.
You ever saw Blues Brothers?
Yeah, is that crazy?
It's not crazy, but I mean, it's a comedy classic. You should definitely watch it.
One of my life things is there's some stuff you just have to rule out.
Coneheads.
You've never seen Coneheads?
No, I'm talking about Coneheads.
Okay.
He was in
Coneheads, number 1. Trading Places, number 2. Ghostbusters, number 3.
Okay.
Ghostbusters, number 2. Well, so Ghostbusters number 1 was 3, and 2 was 4.
And 4 was 3.
And 4 will be all women.
Oh. 4 will suck.
Yeah. So Britain is the UK, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Britain limiting their porn.
Well, Great Britain, I think, is England technically.
So here's one of my life.
I think it's the UK banning this.
Yeah, UK is Britain, Scotland, and Ireland.
Yes.
Who knows? And they have like a royal family.
It's Northern Ireland. It's Scotland, Wales, and then England.
Got it. So it's like the United Islands of Western
America.
Europe. Yeah. So here's one of my life philosophies.
Watch whatever porn you want.
I mean, honestly, yes. When you limit the variety or what can and can't be shown in pornography, you could have very adverse effects. For instance, tentacle porn freaks me the fuck out. It's out of like East Asia and
Japan.
Yeah. We're looking at you, you red circled motherfucker. But it comes almost directly from the fact that their rule is you can't show insertion.
You can't really show dicks.
I feel like you also can't show vaginas because...
Yeah, they get blurred out too.
Yeah, there's some... I don't watch them a lot, but the hentai
because
porns...
it's censored.
Yeah, the hentai porns, like when the guy goes down on the girl, it'll still get censored. I'm like, really? It's a cartoon. And 2, it's very well drawn.
And 3, why in a cartoon are you having the guy go down on her?
Right. Because it's fiction. Okay.
For whatever reason, the word the word I was gonna use to describe that was obsequious, but I don't think I'm using that term properly. I don't know what obsequious means. The word just popped into my head.
I think it means the angle is greater than 180 degrees.
That's obtuse.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a cute.
When I was in the 3rd grade, I got that. This is back when they do an S, N, I, or U on your report card. It was satisfactory, not
needs improvement,
and then unsatisfactory. And I brought my report card home. My dad was like, "You got a U? What's that mean?" I was like, "Ubiquitous." He's like, "You got ubiquitous in English? What's that even mean?" I was like, "I don't know. That's why I got a U." I've always been this funny. But okay, so another
you have not.
Just don't limit porn. So tentacle porn's one example. 2, and you can never prove this, but I truly do think the existence of child porn, while I'm not an advocate of its production, I do think there's a strong possibility.
It potentially prevents actual action based on that. Yeah.
And it's a catch-22 because a child has to get molested in the video, but then so let's say you have 2 child molesters. They could both molest a child, or one could molest a child, film it, put it on the internet, the other one watch it, and then the other one not molest a child. And it's like if you had to have one of those 2 scenarios, obviously you would only want one kid molested.
It's like
I've never said that before. You only want to molest one kid.
It's for the greater good.
Yeah. And
the greater good.
It's tough. Like, people will not advocate for the greater good.
It's
in an instance of an evil act.
Yeah. So I mean, could you imagine if it came out that United 93?
If I came out.
Yeah. If United 93, if that flight that went down in Pennsylvania, if it came out that plane was shot down to prevent it getting to the White House, people will go nuts. I mean, could you imagine like the 150 people that died on that flight compared to how many people would die?
1, that's a brilliant comparison.
Yeah.
2, the beauty lies in both scenarios.
There's no beauty.
Yeah. The booty. No, just kidding. The beauty lies in the fact that, I mean, you couldn't prove it. So let's say they shot down the plane, and then people are like, yeah, but you didn't give the people on the plane the chance to fight the terrorists and take the plane back over. I'm like, yeah, like they were going to fucking fly it.
Yeah.
Your only option is the ground.
Unless Sully was on that plane.
And they were by a large body of water. I don't know.
Yeah. Where's Denzel?
God. When Denzel's movie Flight came out, I remember thinking, wait, is this the Sully movie they were talking about? Like, I didn't know Sully did coke and like...
Yeah, but then now they got Tom Hanks to play Sully, so...
Yeah, and
Even
it
better.
was pretty good.
I didn't see it yet, but...
It's one of those movies I enjoy having watched it once, but I won't watch it again.
Yeah, as shitty as some decisions may be, as scenarios may be, I'm always in favor of making the decision based off the greater good. Like, if you have to... I mean, it sucks, but if a few hundred people have to die to save potentially thousands or millions, I'm okay with making that decision. Like,
Can I push the hypothetical a little bit further?
okay.
I'm going to test you on this. I don't know how I'd answer it either. So let's say you knew that by producing 10 child molestation videos onto the internet,
I could end child molestation.
No, hell no. You could prevent 100 other children from being molested. Would you molest 10 kids and record it? Or 2, would you pick one poor soul and molest them 10 different times and record it?
This
tough.
is a terrible would you rather.
I have better. Okay.
I'd probably probably pick the one poor kid.
I would too.
He'd be a ginger too.
Dude, I swear to God, I was going to say that. I was like, as long as he doesn't have a soul.
Well, he wouldn't afterwards.
Bullshit. If you molest a kid 10 times, he's your Horcrux.
Oh my God. This might be the most horrible thing we've ever said on the podcast. God.
I'm so uncomfortable with myself.
I don't usually get uncomfortable, but that made me uncomfortable.
And it's like, okay, I just want to stress we're not doing this for shock value.
Yeah.
It's a legit, like, if you had to pick one.
Yeah, it's like one of those things.
If you didn't, okay.
If you had to kill your mom to save...
No, hold on. Let's make this perfect. For our listeners at home, you have 2 options.
Or wherever you are listening to this show.
They're probably in our home. Okay, tied up to the radiator, getting graped for decades and decades. Okay.
That's a grapist joke. That's from the whitest kids you know.
That's if you had YouTube in 2005. Okay. Okay, so here's your scenarios, and I want you to honestly think about this. 1, again, you have 10 kids. You have to molest them all, record it, and put it online, and you're going to save 100 kids from getting molested.
Yes.
2, you pick 1 kid, you molest them 10 times, record it 10 different times, post it 10 different times, and you save 100 kids from getting molested. And if you are sitting there saying, I wouldn't do either, then 101 kids will get molested.
Or 111.
So all the kids involved in the scenario.
Yeah.
I hate when people don't pick one because it's fucked up. Like,
yeah,
that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, yeah, it's a hypothetical scenario that's not going to happen, but it's one of those things where the thought process behind it, it goes back. It's just the greater good. Like, I mean, but
people can't fathom that the greater good could still be really messed up.
Yeah,
they're like, there's nothing good about that.
Well, it's just like the election. Like, there wasn't a good choice.
Yeah, it was
like so I mean,
only 15,000 people voted for the greater good. Harambe.
R.I.P. in peace. But I just it's crazy that people like wouldn't even consider making that decision. But it's like, if you had to sacrifice your kid to come up with a cure for all childhood cancer.
Yeah, seriously, there's some people that wouldn't do it. They'd be like, "No, someone else could find the cure." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Really? We're giving you
your kid has cancer, and like the only way to get a cure for it is to like something that was gonna kill him, but save all these other kids."
Yeah, probably the only like real life scenarios when like pregnant mothers have health complications, and it's basically like deliver the kid and one of you passes.
Yeah.
Which is rare, but I've heard of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Here's another morbid would you rather, and I'm going to pose this to you. If you were halfway inside your mother and your father was halfway inside of you, would you thrust forward or backwards? This is not original content anymore. I found this on the Would You Rather subreddit, and it's like one of the top posts all time for all 300 subscribers to that subreddit. But yeah, what would you do? Forward or back?
I'd barrel roll
See, you're doing it though. You're doing a non-committal. Just pick one.
I picked a better option.
So you do both?
Probably back.
Man. You would let your dad get up in that?
I'd
go back and forth. If I'm gonna have a threesome, I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
No. I would definitely go back.
Yeah. I'd back out.
I think
I'd back out like most people are going to do when they get to the child molestation part of this episode.
Yeah, if you're still with us, you get a free shirt or something. Like,
don't commit to free shit.
No, I didn't say we were giving it to him. Like, find a store. Okay.
Buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Send it to us and we'll write, I survived episode 29.
Ah, man. It has been brutal so far. At least we're like...
It was like a 10-minute stretch of brutal.
We're 66.6% of the way done with this episode, though.
Yeah, we're over halfway there, so John Bon Jovi can stop singing.
God damn it.
I liked it.
What's another thing we could talk about? I have one really random thing we could talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my wife is starting to get interested in the potential of starting like a bakery business.
Yes.
Not a bakery, but like she wants to bake shit and people pay her for it.
So a bakery.
Yeah, and her moniker, what's a moniker? The name?
Just the name.
Yeah, her moniker is Seriously Dough, and she's paid for it already.
It's good.
So no one else can take it. But one day
did she put it as a limited liability corporation?
I don't know.
Because I would not LLC that coming.
Okay, go ahead. God damn. I hate your puns. But she got so upset because someone posted our neighborhood is like, I think it's like 500 properties. And so there's a Facebook page just for the neighborhood so we can all like communicate.
Yeah.
Which ends up just being a giant bitch fest. But somebody posted, looking for any baked treats during the holidays, contact me here. And she's like, motherfucker. I'm like, no, you need her. You have competition in this exact same neighborhood. That's how capitalism works. Like some people don't even understand like what's a good example? Like Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah.
They fucking need each other. If one didn't exist, the other wouldn't be as popular. And that goes both ways.
Well, when one of them comes out with something that the other one hasn't came out with yet, it leads to more innovation.
Actually, yeah, and then they'll sue each other for stealing the innovative ideas.
Well, so Microsoft and Sony, like they both have competing video game consoles.
So pretty much Microsoft and anyone.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, because they have their hands in a lot of different pots. So PS4 came out, the Xbox One came out. They both came out about the same time, but the PS4 performed better sales wise than the Xbox One did, and to kind of counteract that, both Sony and Microsoft announced that they were going to release like newer versions of their systems that were going to be capable of like 4K. They're going to be upgraded versions of their existing consoles.
Right.
Well,
with a shitload of storage.
Yeah, so PS4, they came out with the PS4 Pro, which is, I think it's already out now. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have like an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. It outputs to 4K and it'll upscale your games to 4K. It won't actually play them in native 4K. Xbox, they released a newer, like an updated version of just the regular Xbox One that does have a built-in 4K Blu-ray player and does the same thing. It outputs to Blu-ray, it outputs to 4K, it streams 4K. But next year, they're coming out with an actual console that's going to play all games at 4K, 60 frames per second. And that's going to come out, and they're going to dominate the market where PlayStation was dominating before by having a more powerful console.
It's interesting because at the same time, Nintendo announced I already forgot what it's called. But
the Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch, where it's like a console, you can take it on the go. The console itself has a screen.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where Nintendo has realized that their niche is making cool shit instead of making stuff that's super powerful.
But I just think it's funny because, like Microsoft and Sony, in your example, they're competing against each other, but they're very similar.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo keeps coming out with these off-the-wall things.
Yeah, they're innovating in different ways to set themselves apart. They're the only people that has Mario and Smash and Zelda and all that. So to get people to buy their systems, they're innovating in different ways. Instead of trying to make the most powerful system, they're like, hey, let's make something that everybody just wants.
Dude, I think it's cool. I'm saying, like...
I'm going to buy one.
I'm going to play with yours. But, like...
And it comes with the controllers built in, so we'll be able to play with each other at the same time.
Okay. But, like, I mean, literally, if you think about it, Sony and Microsoft, like, Sony got itself a kite, and then Microsoft got itself a kite that flies a little bit higher, and then Sony's a little bit higher, and then Nintendo comes in paragliding. And
they had a drone.
Yeah. Well, but then they crash quickly, and then they're out of the picture.
That was the Wii U.
Even the Wii was so popular
the Wii was really dope, but the Wii U, like, it didn't sell nearly as well because
it wasn't innovative enough, I don't think. Not building on...
People didn't get the gamepad. Like, I don't think really people understood the fact that it was the first system that you didn't have to play on the big TV. You could just play the game on the gamepad itself.
Consequently, I read somewhere that Nintendo has done their finances well enough to where they could operate at zero, like, sales for the next 20 years and still be in existence.
Yeah, they could operate as a loss for, like, the next 20, 25 years and still be okay.
That's fucking incredible. But back to the original point I was making to my wife with the Seriously Dough and then the
competition.
The competitive baker. I was like, and for her, I use the example like Pepsi and Coke. I'm like, Pepsi needs Coke and Coke needs Pepsi. I was like, it's kind of like Trump and Hillary, but in my example, Hillary was Pepsi and Trump was Coke because Trump has also had cocaine in him in the early 1900s.
Because, it's like the Republicans, it's like they came out with, I feel like Donald Trump is new Coke, and people are...
And Hillary is blue Pepsi. Just kidding.
She's Crystal Pepsi.
Oh.
No, she's the Japanese yogurt Pepsi.
Wait, are you...
Actually,
why do I know that's a thing?
I don't know, but I feel like I want to take that back. Donald Trump is a Tab soda. Like, and when I look at him, I think if I'm thinking soda, he's a Tab.
Man,
because he probably shouldn't have been around since the 80s.
If I had to pick a soda to represent Donald Trump, it would be Surge. It's just like so much all at once.
Because of what happened in the polls.
Oh, god damn. Man, that was good. That was a good quip.
Yeah.
Did you see that pee on my pop filter? Okay.
Quip?
I'm still not used to these sound waves since we moved the microphones around.
Yeah. Now we have dicks hanging in our face instead of us holding them to our face.
Kind of how I always wanted it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you ever eat a banana, if you're a man, always go banana to mouth, not mouth to banana. It's a good tip to live by.
Like bring it to your mouth?
Yeah.
Did I ever show you too?
And don't look another man in the eye while you're eating a banana.
And definitely don't mutter sexual things. That freaks me out. Did I ever show you the proper way to open a banana is from the bottom?
Yeah, that's how monkeys do it.
Yeah, if you pinch the... Is it the stem? No, not the stem.
The loaf.
Pinch the butt of
the butt of the
banana,
banana.
and it opens up like a flower. It's so fucking cool. And like you said, I found that on YouTube under how to eat a banana like a monkey. And then there was a subsequent video called how to open a banana like a man. And there was just a banana sitting on a counter for like 8 seconds. And all of a sudden a guy's head came flying in and it smashed the banana. And I was like, nice.
Was that video featuring Ron Swanson?
Probably. Or he was the executive producer of that.
Do you remember the episode where they tried to tell him to eat a banana?
No.
And he tried
I quit watching Parks and Rec early in season 3.
Man, you missed out on some good stuff. Seasons 1 through 5 were all really good. 6 was pretty good, and then 7, the way they wrapped up the story for everybody was very reminiscent of The Office.
Sometimes I feel like you judge me for how I pick what shows I do and don't like. But one of the reasons I don't enjoy Parks and Rec is because I feel like you can Google Parks and Rec quotes and enjoy the quotes every bit as much as the show. And then, I mean, if I can read the show and enjoy it, I'll just do that.
To me, it's hanging out with a bunch of people that I've gotten close to watching the show.
That was my office then.
Yeah, so but that's how Parks and Rec also became that for me as well.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever watched Community?
No, but I want to.
Me too. I just saw it on Hulu, and I'm a huge fan of Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
So I've yet to find something that he's done.
And I love Don Glover.
Oh, never mind. I fucking hate Don Glover. And I think Joel McHale's in it.
Yeah, from The Soup.
Fuck. Never mind. I'll never watch it. Seriously, if I hate something an actor did once, I just... They ruin movies for me.
What do you hate that he did?
Who, Don Glover?
Yeah.
The Childish Gambino?
You don't like Childish Gambino?
Hell no. I also don't like his stand-up.
I don't really care for his stand-up.
I watched 4 minutes of him once, and the only time I chuckled was the fact that his Twitter handle was Don Glover. But I'm like, okay, that died out pretty quick.
I like him better as a rapper than as a comedian.
And his name is too close to Dan Glover, the black guy from...
You mean Danny Glover?
Okay, but it can also be Dan Glover.
He doesn't go by Dan Glover. He goes by Danny.
Okay, it should be Dan Glover and Melissa Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Okay, sorry. I always thought people let the
Melton.
fact that what is Mel short for if you're a boy? Is it Melvin? Melvin Gibson? People never question that with
It's very
him.
Jewish of him.
Hebrew Melvin.
My name, wasn't it? Galaxia.
Galaxia.
My name is Galaxia. From a small town called Lickensy Dickens.
God, that was Woody Harrelson's
But I'm a
third best role.
lady. Oops, no, I'm not.
I used to hate Woody Harrelson because I knew the name, but I didn't know who he was. I'm trying to remember what movie he like truly won me over in.
White Man Can't Jump.
No, way after that.
Anger Management.
Zombieland.
Zombieland?
Yeah. Either Zombieland or in Seven Psychopaths.
I loved him in that too, yeah. What else did I love him in? Wasn't he in 7 Pounds?
Yeah, but I didn't like him. He was like a blind guy. He had long
Yeah,
hair.
it was at the
and he was
very
like-
end, wasn't it?
Well, he was throughout the movie.
Oh,
'cause,
yeah, he
like-
worked at the call center.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what Will Smith called, and he's like, this dog food tastes like shit. Have you ever eaten it? And then I forget his name.
And then Will Smith gives him his eyes.
Yeah. Did you know 7 Pounds was based on a very obscure Shakespeare play? Have I already told you this?
No.
It's about this guy, and every time he gets in trouble, his punishment is to give a pound of flesh.
Which is based off the Bible.
Wait, is it?
I think so.
Oh. Maybe it's based off the Bible and not Shakespeare.
It sounds like something Shakespeare would do.
If it's old...
Was the play littered
Yeah.
with dick jokes?
It does sound like something Shakespeare would do. Steal someone else's idea. I can say that.
Yeah, The
He's
Lion
dead.
King for Hamlet? Come on.
Wait, what?
I was making the joke that he stole the idea of Hamlet from The Lion King.
Wait, are they
Because-
similar?
Yeah,
I don't know Hamlet at all.
The Lion King is Hamlet. The brother kills the king to take the throne, and then the
Dude.
son comes back.
Whoa, I'm like having a revelation. Which is from the Bible. Okay, sorry. It's always weird, and I wish it was like we should make a gallery one day of just all the things that are just another thing from the past. Like Django Unchained. There was a movie called Django by a completely different director, kind of same premise. Home Alone 2. There was a movie called Home
Alone.
Yeah, completely same premise.
Same actors.
Have you ever seen there's a side-by-side picture of...
There was Silence of the Lambs, which was based off of the books. I forget who the author was.
Animorphs?
No, but it was the Hannibal Lecter movie. But there was a movie before called Manhunter that was based off the same character, Hannibal Lecter, and they actually...
Man.
So the movie Manhunter was based off the book Hannibal, and then they made the movie Hannibal after they made Silence of the Lambs.
That's so
That was
weird.
based off... That was the exact same movie.
Did
So
you-
it's technically a reboot, but no one
But
ever
no
played
credit
it out.
given,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Have you ever... Excuse me. Have you ever seen the side-by-side of Big Bang Theory and Dexter's Laboratory?
No, that's weird though. Yeah.
Exact same characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And then it makes me think we should write a sitcom. Just pick like Friends, give them all new names, and let them live in like Nebraska or something.
Yeah, and we'll call it Friends.
Or yeah. Wait, can I say one more random thing to kind of end the episode?
We should make a show it's got an all-female cast and they all have hair that hangs in their face and it can be the Big Bang Theory.
Do it. Jeez, that was good.
I could have done better.
Do you know the band Modest Mouse?
I know the song Float On.
Okay, so does everyone. So Modest Mouse has actually had a shockingly like decent career. Multiple albums out, multiple like awards and shit for their music. But then I realized the only song ever played on the radio has been Float On. Yeah, which is weird.
I back my car into a cop car.
And that's a cover.
Day.
I think the original is by a band called The Floaters. I'm like 85% positive. But the thing I was going to point out is out of all the bands in the world that I feel like are very good, the general public would agree are very good, and then don't get love on public radio, I think Modest Mouse is number one.
See, I feel like they're pretty obscure to most audiences, though. Like, most audiences probably know Float On, and then that's it.
Man.
Just like me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are a lot of bands that get a lot of widespread acclaim that I don't think are very good, like Coldplay or U2.
You don't like me?
Right.
Yeah. I was having like a emotional moment in the car. I was upset for Modest Mouse. Like, they pretty much got friend zoned by radio.
Radiohead.
Yes. I'm trying to think of the mainstream artists I hate the most, but not rap, because that's such an easy genre for me to...
Taylor Swift?
Dude, are Kings of Leon still a thing?
Probably.
Okay, then them.
But they haven't really... I don't think they've been big lately. Maybe Imagine Dragons?
I don't mind them.
Okay.
I want to say the Black Keys.
I like the Black Keys,
Dude,
though.
I love them, but all their music sounds the exact same. The only song I will forever jam to every time it comes on is Gold on the Ceiling.
I was going to say Howlin' for You.
Nope.
I can't get over that riff when the riff is in my head all the time.
All the riffs are the exact same. It always sounds like the beginning of a golf tournament from Happy Gilmore. Like, you could insert it on any of them.
I've always been partial to what was that little
partial
black
means for or against.
Partial towards.
Okay, so wait, partial in favor of?
Yeah, I've always been partial towards. I think it's Little Black Submarine.
The
by
Beatles
the Black
song?
Keys. No, that's Yellow Submarine.
Man, no, I've never heard Little Black Submarine.
It's by the Black Keys. I think it was off the same album that was Gold on the Ceiling.
Sometimes I'm hypocritical. One band that always sounds the exact same that I will listen to everything, Mumford and Sons.
Okay. But their most recent album, they ditched the banjos for, so they don't sound the same.
Whoa. They're Americanizing.
Speaking of just bands in general, I heard that System of a Down will be releasing a new album soon.
Which is crazy, because they disbanded. They went on a hiatus.
Surge did his solo stuff.
Yep, and now they're back, because Surge is not good, not with his band.
Yeah, that was a weird way to say that.
Same
Quadruple negatives.
Yeah. Same thing with the Killers. I forget. I think.
Wait. Somebody told me about this.
Jesus. I hate when you're like optimistic about your joke, like Mr. Brightside. Why do we get more booze than badumts or whatever they're called?
Rim shots? It's because our puns are terrible.
All right. Can I give you one more would you rather?
Sure.
Would you rather sit on a cake and eat a dick, or sit on a dick and eat a cake?
Sit on a dick and eat a cake. Because
That's
at least
twice tonight you've picked having a penis in your butthole.
I'm perfectly comfortable in my own sexuality. So,
are you perfectly comfortable with someone else being in your sexuality?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, this is the end of the episode. We're going to go to the bedroom and we will live stream. Okay.
We do have the camera now, but we have to
Believe
figure
me,
out
when
how
I
to...
finish, it is a live stream. Okay.
He's talking about his urine.
I swear. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be coming. But
soon.
But we have to figure out how the camera works first. But yeah, I mean I know I'm not gay, so if it just happened to happen, but I got to eat cake, I'd probably be okay with it.
It's carrot cake.
I like carrot cake.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I just don't like fruitcake, which is weird that I'm okay with doing some gay stuff, but I don't like fruitcakes.
I mean, in that instance, regardless of what you picked, it is a fruit cake.
Yeah? Well, carrots are vegetables, so it's a vegetable cake.
No. I mean, if you were eating a cake with a dick in your butt, or if you had a dick in your mouth and you were sitting on a cake, that whole scenario.
I'd much rather not have to clean frosting out of my butthole.
Okay, that doesn't leave either scenario like a definite no. You actually will clean frosting out of your butthole.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
It's either a glaze or actual frosting.
And you can spit the cake if you want to.
Oh.
All right. That's the end of episode 29.
Yeah.
Dos
Nueve?
Sorry, so...
Wait, 29. That's for our Spanish speakers.
Yeah.
Which, if you speak Spanish and listen to the show, why? And how?
What
we don't
he means
translate
is por qué. Como. Okay.
Because we don't translate. We should put subtitles up.
Except it not be what we're saying. We're like Nelson Mandela's deaf translator.
We'll put up subtitles, but it's just the book Don Quixote.
Okay, when I said Nelson Mandela's deaf interpreter for 0.04 seconds, I was planning on saying blind interpreter, and then like this red alert went off in my brain. I was like, "Don't do that! Don't do that!
Don't say that. That's dumb.
Don't end the episode retarded." Okay, so that's all I have. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Love you.